I'm going to die today. And I
You're going to die today? Oh, no.
I'm going to fall asleep during the show. If I fall asleep during the show, just yell.
First of all, I yell all the time, so I don't think it's even possible for you to fall asleep because I've got too much energy for the two of us.
Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! Hey, watch him! With Dan and Tony! It's Hey Watching, yeah!
Welcome to Hey Watching with Dan and Tony!
Hello, everybody. I'm Tony. I'm jumping in there. If you're not going to introduce yourself, I'm cutting you off.
Oh, I usually say I'm Dan, don't I?
You usually say I'm Dan. For 197 episodes, you have said I'm Dan, and then I say I'm Tony. But today, we're mixing it up. I'm Tony.
That's the thing about... So, like, I'll be in the kitchen... And I'll be like singing like some Dan Goodsell song, you know.
Sure, yep.
And
Tweedledum.
And then I'll stop, and then like 15 minutes later, Shannon's like, "Oh, sing that song again." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
What song? I've never sang a song in my life.
It just, I am an improv machine. It just pours out of me.
I don't know if that's what it is, or you're just disconnected from your brain. You know what I mean? Like your body is in the ether, your mind's over here, and they never the twain shall meet.
I live in the gray zone.
You sure do.
On this show, generally, we watch a movie. It's because it is generally. Sometimes we do something different.
I think twice. I think we've done something different twice.
We watch a movie, then we talk about the movie. This week, I got to pick the movie because we did a kids movie last time. I was like, we'll do a kids movie, even though we're not supposed to do kids movies. We'll do a kids movie. So I picked Disney Pixar's Lightyear from 2022, hour and 49 minutes. I didn't do any research on this movie, but I don't know if it flopped. I don't know if it flopped, but it certainly didn't do well. It made its
money back, but it did not do well. It was supposed to be a trilogy of films, and it is no longer that. So that's how it did.
Thank you for that.
Although, to be fair, I do believe movie number 2 would be the movie that I actually thought I was going to see in movie number 1.
You're correct. The one emotional moment is at the end. He says he's got his team behind him, and he's like, "This is my team." Yep. And I was like, "Oh, that's the one emotional moment in this entire movie."
Yep.
And it's like, literally
let's see that movie.
The last line of the
last
movie.
30 seconds. Yep. Yep. There's a lot of that. I mean, we'll talk about it, but literally the way that this movie is pitched is that this is the movie that Andy from Toy Story sees as a kid and falls in love with Buzz Lightyear. Not possible. Based off of this film, no kid is going to fall in love with Buzz. Every kid in the world's going to fall in love with socks. Just for the record, the fact that there's no socks toy in Toy Story breaks that universe wide open. Doesn't make any sense.
Socks is like his android cat companion that he gets to help him through his
right. And the only good part of this movie. Meow, 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 meow. That just every time that cat spins its head, meow, meow, it cracks me up. I love it.
I think my one laugh in the movie was the cat.
Was it the white noise sound? Because I laughed for like 2 minutes off of that.
That was good.
Buzz is trying to fall asleep, and the cat's like, I can do these noises, like just white noise. And then the face the cat makes, he like lurches back and is like, it killed me. It destroyed me. I loved it. So I laughed 3 times in this movie.
Oh, that's 3 times. That's good.
All 3 of them were socks. So
well, I hope so.
I would love a socks toy. That's all. Like that's the only toy I would want from this whole movie. That's how I know that this movie doesn't make any sense as how they pitched it.
Yeah. The thing about it is, if that's the pitch, it's got to be an actual adventure. It can't be a Pixar movie.
Yes, 100%. It has to be like a fun space cop blowing shit up. First of all, Emperor Zurg needs to be A, an emperor, B, evil, and C, Zurg. He has to be 3 things, and he is none of those 3. I have so many problems with this movie, Dan.
Is he called Emperor Zurg in the Toy Story imagined universe?
In the Toy Story universe, we wrote this down because we went back and we rewatched it. Okay. He is evil Emperor Zurg, sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance. That is how he is described. He is none of those things in this movie.
No.
0 of them. He's not Zurg. He's not evil. He's not an emperor. And he's not a sworn enemy of the Galactic Alliance because that hasn't even been formed yet. They formed that at the end of the movie. So he can't be the sworn enemy of jack shit.
Do they truly form supposedly the Galactic Alliance?
I mean, they don't call it the Galactic Alliance.
Okay,
they had a different name, but
they don't form it.
I mean, that's true. That's true. Oh, this is goose egg. You're right. It's not even close.
It's even worse. Yeah. So this movie's. I was thinking about Pixar movies. I don't like thinking about Pixar movies.
We know, Dan.
I think the idea of a Pixar movie is, I don't know that they necessarily have stated this, but it seems like the Pixar movie thing is what we're going to do is we're going to have a family dynamic. We're going to have a father, then we're going to have a kid, and then it's going to be this interaction, right? The dad and the kid coming together in some way, because then the kid can watch the movie and go there's a dad figure, I'm dad. And then the dad can watch the movie and go I'm the dad and there's my child. So they're sort of...
There's my child. Is that what you think dads sound like?
Yeah. In Bambi, it's Bambi meets his friends and goes on the adventure. Even, I don't know about the Lion King. I'm not sure what... Lion King, doesn't the Lion King grow up to be the king?
Well, I mean, sure, Simba, but it is about dad a lot because the loss of his father. What are you talking about? Mufasa, the death of Mufasa. Oh my God, that destroyed me for 20 years as a kid. So it's all about him kind of making his father proud by becoming who he was supposed to become. You know what I mean? That sort of dynamic.
But the father's not there. He dead.
I mean, he's dead. Yeah, he dies early, and then you see him in the clouds one time to spur on the thing. And now they're making a Mufasa prequel. I don't know if you saw that.
Well, that sounds stupid.
It does. It sounds and looks stupid.
Have the stupid Pixar guys make that.
They probably pitched it. It was like one of those cross pitches, and they were just like, you know what, you guys could do.
So these movies are meant to sort of, please adults and please children. And so they sort of exist in this sort of neutered comedy space where you can't really go. You have to keep everything, clean or whatever, right? You can't go. You can't really go anywhere. And I was thinking about Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, right?
I love Daffy. Big fan of Daffy over here.
These are real cartoon characters, right? That have big personalities that are constantly flowing out of them, to the detriment of everyone around them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In a Pixar movie, you have to make this sort of real life. I'm living my life, and when I'm walking across the field, there I am walking across the field. I don't really ever get emotional, and the bad things that happen really aren't that bad, and it's going to be okay. As opposed to some danger. There's no danger in this movie. I don't even know what the story was for this movie all the way through, if I'm being 100% honest. Well, I mean,
let me tell you why I'm confused. Ready?
Okay, tell me why you're confused.
They're on an exploratory mission at the very beginning, right?
Well, I mean, I think they're on a mission to populate someplace.
But they don't know where they're going yet, right? They're checking out planets on the way. That's why he's the only one awake, because they land and then the Rangers go and check out the terrain. And if it's good, then they're going to live there. If it's bad, they're going to leave.
No.
What do you mean? That's what he says.
Oh, really? He does say that? Because they were like, oh, we better check out this planet. Because they said some life or something. So you think that they it was just too dangerous for them to want to stay.
That's why are they trying to leave in your mind?
I just figured they were going to some other planet to populate it. And then they got the signal or whatever, and we're like, well, we should check it out, but we're not going to stay here. But they do land the thing, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they land the turnip. If you're just coming down to look at it, you would send a little spaceship down. He'd check it out and then come back up, a little shuttle. Well, anyhow, sorry, yeah.
Just real quick, and that's why this movie immediately starts not making any sense. Right?
Oh yeah, dude.
Because it isn't perfectly. If they were looking for a planet to habitate, it's fine. If they were just checking it out, they'd have sent a little scout down there. So you're already like, what's happening? Okay, go.
I was like, I never got over that. I never got to the point where I was like, oh, now I finally understand what's happened. So they're looking for a place to live. I don't know if they have a goal. Maybe they were sidetrack. I don't know. Either way, they land on this planet. And then they thaw everyone out ostensibly, right? So then they're just inhabiting it anyhow. But the whole time he's like, we have to leave. And they have to what? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his whole thing is that because they don't have hyperdrive or whatever. They don't have the necessity for hyperdrive. So he's like, I got to make sure that we have hyperdrive so we can reconnect with, the rest of the galactic whatever the hell. And of course, by the end of the movie, they've just completely habitated this planet, and it doesn't matter. And it's not even by the end of the movie, Dan. It's like his first trip, the first 4-year gap, he comes back and they're like, well, we live here now, so it's all good. But it's like, no, I'm going to still do it. What? I don't understand. I don't understand his motivation. I don't understand why everyone is happy, but none of it makes any sense to me. I don't understand. It's a plot that you've written on a piece of paper, right?
Sure.
What you've written is where we want to get to is Buzz realizes that this planet's acceptable as his home.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to realize that he needs to work with other people to be successful.
To do something.
To not even to be successful, you just need to work with other people because that's probably the right thing you should generally do.
Full stop. Yep. Yeah, just full stop. He just needs to learn to play with other children. Yeah.
Hate watching with Dan, Buzz would realize needs some Tony. Yeah, I realize it doesn't need some Tony, but if you're
right,
Buzz,
but you've already done it. So you've tried that, and now you realize it doesn't need it. You know what I mean? He never tried it. That's on Buzz.
That's more about
but then the end of the movie is not that lesson. It's the working together lesson.
Yeah.
But it's not this is your home lesson. So like the entire plot to me is useless. Like that device goes nowhere. He's not like all of a sudden like, you know what? I will live out the remaining days here on this planet like my friend who died already did. You know what I mean? Like instead he joins a team that's going to send him on missions far away. So he never gave a shit about this planet, beginning, middle, or end. So it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's typical of Pixar movies.
You don't even watch Pixar movies. Don't pretend like you're a Pixar expert, a Pix-expert.
There's two of them, right? There's
only 2 movies. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
The one about the fish, and they give
Finding Nemo.
They give him like a messed up little fin, and then that doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's just him and his dad.
Well, he's just more helpless than a normal baby fish or something.
For no reason.
So you feel worse.
So you feel worse. And then in was it The Bug's Life? What's his name is a fuck up, and then he's a fuck up, and then he's still a fuck up, and then he's a fuck up. But everything works out fine.
Yeah, but it worked. Yeah, it worked. Sometimes you can fuck your way up. You know what I'm saying? That sounded weird.
Sometimes you can fuck yourself.
Let's sleep to the top. Come on, baby.
And those are my 2 things I learned from Pixar.
Okay, well, you should watch more Pixar movies, right? Cars, great one. Cars is a great one. Cars 1 only is the only one I care about.
Yeah, Cars movies are like they're boys movies, and I'm not a big boys movies fan. Okay.
Boys movie. Well, you know what? If you were a boys movie fan, guess what movie you wouldn't like? Lightyear.
Yeah. Okay, so rousing music. 4.2 million light years from Earth. They find the place. They go down there. It's uncharted planet. They detour to investigate. They land. They have like a robot taking core samples. I don't understand what that means or why that would be.
Just for fun.
There's a total of 3 space rangers from a ship of 1,200. So these 3 people are supposed to work security for 1,200 scientists and others.
Oh, yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. The ratio's pretty messed up.
And this is when the movie lost me.
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear, we have this running bit where Buzz Lightyear narrates to himself. It's never funny, never works. It's always stupid.
No.
He's like, the terrain is very unstable. And then he does like a jump. The terrain, not unstable.
No, he landed fine. So I'm not sure I don't know what unstable terrain means, to be honest with you.
Unstable terrain means if you're walking, it's like it's loose rocks. You can slip and you can hurt yourself.
Okay, it's literally not stable. I see.
It literally has to be unstable. He says unstable terrain. It's not unstable terrain. It's just terrain. It seems
pretty fine. Yeah, it seems pretty good.
You can say rocky terrain, okay, but it's not unstable.
Okay, describe it to me. Okay.
But they want some action words that he can say as he's narrating himself.
Yeah. So, and let's just dive into this right now. They try to tie in Buzz Lightyear characteristics from Toy Story and like jam them into this movie, and they didn't think them out enough to make them make any sense. So every time they do something from Toy Story, it sticks out like a sore thumb because they didn't create a character that would then turn into that Buzz Lightyear. Like this Buzz would never be the Buzz in Toy Story. I understand their whole thing is, they're different people. I get that. But the joke of Buzz in Toy Story is that he thinks he's the real deal. Right? So he thinks he is what he is based on, but if he's based on this, he would be a completely different person. Those lines don't connect. So you immediately threw away your entire premise.
Now, isn't
that's how it lost me.
Now the Toy Story, I started watching Toy Story, and
great call.
I was like,
it's good, Dan.
Very ugly. Just get that going back to a movie like that and watch it.
It's not very ugly, but it doesn't look. It's not very ugly.
Very ugly.
At the time, it was wonderful.
And
okay, you finish your thought. I have so many thoughts on this movie.
That's the big scam of those movies. Is it was something new that looked different, and everyone's like, "I'm buying this." It's just like the Dire Straits, Nothing for Money, animated video. We love that video. Even though if you look at it now, it's just these weird blocky guys walking around. And it's the same thing with this. People are all like, look at that. But then when you look at the design of the kid in Toy Story, you want to kill yourself. It's so horrible. And the baby's 1,000 times worse. You're just like
terrifying.
I do not want to look at this. This is a monstrosity that they should be hunting that thing and killing it.
Which is that's a great movie.
Yeah, if they killed that baby, yes, I agree. I had a point. Forget it. You say something, Tom.
Well, it's going to lead into my point because now we have to put on our thinking caps, Dan. So Toy Story looked the way Toy Story did. You didn't like it. A lot of other people did like it, Dan. But it looked a certain way, right? It's from 1997?
Sure.
That's a guess. I'm not sure. I probably should look that up. But either way, regardless, Lightyear is the movie that Andy, a 10-year-old in that timeline, saw. Why does it look like it's made today? Shouldn't it look like a nostalgic piece of art?
No.
Why?
Well, I mean, it's gonna the toy. The only thing you can look at that you can relate to the movie is the toy, and they have the same stupid, the terrible design of the toy. They carry over that general. Technically,
they don't until the end of the movie because his suit is completely different until the last 2 seconds of the movie, which is another problem I have. Because then why would Andy would not be so excited to have a toy that was never used in the fucking movie he saw.
because
he didn't have wings. He didn't use a laser. He didn't have the cool things that they pitch in Toy Story until the end of the movie, where they're like, now we're going to be space cops. Well, then he saw the second movie, not the first movie, because this movie is completely different from what you show me in Toy Story.
I'm so happy. Okay, I completely agree with all that. But the one thing I want to ask you is the Buzz Lightyear toy as characterized by what's his name? He's kind of doesn't really pay attention to anybody, is kind of completely full of himself. Like, what was the personality of that? That was not what this character was in this movie.
Correct. Was there more? Do you want a more in-depth?
I mean, that seems like the character you want to have in this movie. You want to have to infinity and beyond. He's like always doing stuff and causing trouble.
This movie, to me, and you already disagreed with one of my points, which hurt me deeply, Dan. But to me, the Lightyear movie that Andy saw in Toy Story should feature a Buzz who, yes, works by himself, but because he's arrogant and he's like full of machismo, he should be like a facsimile of Arnold Schwarzenegger in space. He should be slinging one-liners all over the place. Yep. Every time he confronts somebody, he should say something clever or stupid, right? And then it should look like a movie that a kid in 1997 would have seen. I don't like that it doesn't look like a movie he could have possibly seen. Because at the beginning of this movie, they say, this is the movie that Andy saw. No, it isn't. This movie was definitely made in 2022, 40 years after Andy was dead.
So you're saying it should have been like this fun retro talking about that time period?
I think it should have, because they made one retro joke in this entire movie where he blows on the cassette. I don't remember exactly what it is, but in his face, he was like, blew it and then put it back in. That's a great joke because this movie takes place in 1995. Like, so it doesn't make any sense. It should have been nostalgic and fun and colorful, and it was none of those things. It was like, hey, we're Pixar. Look how pretty we can make things. Guess what? Wrong move.
It was a good-looking movie. I mean, except
it was a good-looking movie, yeah.
Except the, having to carry over the Buzz Lightyear suit design and the way their faces all look. I'm over the way the faces
I know you don't like it. I get it. You don't like it. You hate it. I understand.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That seems like it could be an enjoyable movie.
I think I think it would have spoke to us, the people that saw, not you, Dan, the people that saw Toy Story, loved Toy Story, loved Buzz. And like, this would have been a great way to bridge two generations where the kids would see a fun, colorful action cartoon and they would love it. And then the adults would be like, oh shit, this is the Buzz from my childhood. I love it. And then guess what? You got a mega hit on your hands. Instead, you isolated not only the kids who see this and they're like, well, this movie's very boring. Why this isn't cool at all. And then the adults are like, this isn't fucking Buzz. What is happening? So you made everyone who could have wanted to see this movie not want to see it. It's such a weird decision.
Yeah, it's I agree. You're right, Tony. It had to happen eventually.
197. Yeah. Yahtzee. I'm guessing by the way, I've changed which episode number we're on like 4 times. So hopefully one of those is right. Now, Dan, since we're just talking about how much we hate this, let's talk about Tim Allen. Do you have any thoughts on whether Tim Allen should have been in this movie or not?
I love, was it Chris Evans?
Evans.
I love Chris Evans. No, it has to be Tim Allen. Tim Allen's funny.
It has to be Tim Allen. It doesn't make any sense.
Chris Evans, not really. I mean, has he ever been in a funny movie?
Yes, not another teen movie. But he kind of plays the straight man in that movie to everyone else. You know what I mean? He's the Freddie Prinze Jr. of that movie. So I guess I don't know. I haven't seen it in a while, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying he can't be funny, but this is not a script that gives him any place to be funny. His acting is fine, and, he can hit the emotional moments, which is fine. But, yeah, I want to see a Tim Allen movie. It's like you go to Galaxy Quest. Tim Allen's very funny. You go to Zoom. I love Zoom. Zoom is a good movie. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, is Tim Allen kind of a weirdo in real life? Maybe, but
probably that's okay though.
You know, I mean, did I watch lots of Home Improvement? No, but I watched enough to know he's damn good at what he is.
Home Improvement was big in my house. My mom loved that show, so we watched it.
It's a classic show, and he's the character.
So, and that's I did research about this, by the way. So Dan, you know, you're falling behind. They wanted to make a point of separating this movie from Toy Story. So they were like, no, the toy is different than the actual movie itself. So we want to get a different voice because Tim Allen, his Buzz is goofy and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, our Buzz Lightyear is serious. He's a serious guy. And I was like, but that's a mistake. That's a huge mistake because then he's boring.
You're making, and that's the whole thing is, you know, Pixar just said that, you know, we're throwing everything out and we're only going to make certain sort of movies and blah, 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 blah. No more of these, you know, ones based on people's lives and et cetera, et cetera. And you're like,
yeah,
if the movie's good, it doesn't matter. You're making Disney Pixar's Lightyear. You're not making Moana. You're not making, what's the one? Coco. What's the one where is Coco the one where he plays the guitar and goes to Land of the Dead?
Yeah, that movie wrecked me.
Is that a Pixar movie?
I
think it's a Disney.
Boy.
It's a Disney movie, probably. That movie.
I'll look it up. Yeah,
10 out of 10. Moana, 10 out of 10. These are the movies that mean something, and the reason why they mean something is because they're funny and they have characters and they do the thing. This movie, there's no characters. The Buzz Lightyear is I narrate to myself. You're like, I mean, they're one-dimensional bits.
Yes.
When we meet the granddaughter, she's just like, I'm a leader, but I'm afraid of one thing.
Space. Yeah.
It's the dumbest
Sorry,
thing ever.
Spoiler alert.
The Taika Waititi character.
Oh.
I mean, like, if you have Taika Waititi in your movie, Taika Waititi, I consider one of the funniest people that exists on the planet. That dude can just he can come in there and give you a scene in your movie that you cannot believe. And what are we doing here in this movie? Look, I found a pen. It goes in my thing. Pen. We're gonna do that joke 70 times. Pen. Yeah. You're like, why are you just not a joke? It's like a Tony joke. He just keeps on hitting it and hitting it and hitting it.
And it is like a Tony joke because they paid it off at the end, Dan. He uses it to Jimmy open the vent, so nailed it.
Did you like that?
Good job, Tony. No, I didn't like it until you said it was a Tony bit, and now it's my favorite bit of the movie.
And then
Good for them.
There's the woman who was a criminal, and so she's not supposed to shoot guns, and so she shoots guns.
All the time. She shoots them all constantly.
These are your characters? I mean, I'm not saying I know how to fix these characters or, you know, how to make it better, but these did not feel like characters. They just felt like people that could, like, deliver a line. I'm delivering a line. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, because
I had a hard time. Oh, sorry. No, finish.
And the situations they get in, you're just like, I'm not even sure what's happening.
Yeah. Pretty much the whole time. Just cover to cover.
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, I obviously, as you could probably tell from the last 26 minutes, I had a hard time watching this movie separate from Toy Story.
Sure.
But I was trying my hardest to just see it as a movie on its own.
Yeah.
Because part of me believes that this movie was just written as a movie. And then Pixar was like, what if we made this a Buzz Lightyear movie? And so then they just kind of jammed in Buzz Lightyear things randomly because they don't, whenever he does Buzz things, it feels out of place to the character they've created.
I don't think that's what happened. I think they, sat down to write the Lightyear movie, but don't make it about him, but also make it about, but also put in some bits that sort of conform to the thing. And you're left with a Frankenstein. It's a Frankenstein. And
it's a Frankenstein.
Okay. Well, let's keep talking about what happens.
All right, sorry. Yeah. Let's do this.
On the planet, there's evil bugs. There's evil, branches. They try and escape. Buzz takes the ship, tries to fly off. There's a rookie, which they do this whole thing with the rookie, that the rookie never shows up again. We never deal with the rookie again. It means nothing.
Well, he's dead. He dies at some point because then later in the movie, someone's wearing his suit jacket. In the future, like the 66 years later or whatever, with the granddaughter, Taika Waititi. Well, he doesn't die on screen, but he's dead because someone's wearing his suit. It's weird.
So Buzz has to save him, and then Buzz tries to take off, and then he can't pull out of the thing, and then him failing to pull out so that they escape from the planet, so they basically crash and are going to have to stay here, is his big mistake.
Now, let me ask you a question, Dan.
Was it a mistake? No, it wasn't a mistake.
What could have the rookie have done to change that outcome? Because the whole thing is the rookie's like, hey, do you want me to help? And Buzz is like, no, I can do it myself. He's flying a spaceship. Does that take two people? I don't think it does.
I mean, they don't say that it does.
Right? So I don't know.
And I mean, this was the point at which there has to be some hubris involved, where the rookie is like, I'm trained on this, sir. And he's like, no, I'm Buzz Lightyear. I'm the greatest pilot in the universe. But that's great. But in a classical Pixar way, they're like, we can't make him a dick. They never make him a dick. Which is
wrong.
Tim Allen's Buzz Lightyear is a dick, right?
Yes, that's why we love him. Because then he learns to work with his teammates and become friends with them. This Buzz is like a whiny, mopey, loner quitter. Those are like four things that I hate just in general, but more so on my hero, my Buzz Lightyear, my bigger-than-life action star. Why would any kid like this Lightyear? He quits 6 times in this movie. He's cries in the corner, and he's like, this will never work. I failed. Jesus, criminies.
Well,
I hate him.
It's your classic thing, right? Buzz Lightyear is supposed to be overconfident.
Yes, 100,000,000%. He should be more like me, confident to the point of senility.
Yeah, that's true. He should be. Yeah, he should fuck the thing up and be like, the accidents happen, but I couldn't have let the stupid rookie do anything because he's a stupid, useless rookie.
Yeah,
these are the lines, but they don't want to do those lines.
They don't want to do them. Honestly, the only mistake he really made was saving the rookie in the first place. Had he just let the rookie die, he would have saved. It's the Spock moment. Oh my God, Dan, I didn't even realize this. It's either save the turnip or save the rookie. And he chose to save the rookie. He should have just gotten on the ship and took off and they would have lived. He would have saved 1,200 lives.
But you see, you actually, that's a cool thing. You've written something really great. Because then he should be blaming the rookie. It's his fault. I saved his useless life, and we're trapped. Yeah. But I can fix these things. I'm Buzz Lightyear. Da, 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 da. And then
he has to make the sounds himself, by the way.
Of course. I'm always reminded of in Futurama, there's the guy that is in charge of the whatchamacallit, who I think is, basically a Buzz Lightyear parody. And he has his little guy there next to him. So he's like, yes,
I'm Zap Brannigan.
Yeah.
With his little green alien. Yep.
That's the character we want to see.
You're absolutely right. I never even thought about that, but you are absolutely right.
Yeah, I thought about that a lot during this movie. I was just like, why isn't he that guy? Because you could play, that guy could be in a movie, but they want dads to be like, oh, I'm just like Buzz Lightyear. I'm the dad.
But then he gets humbled and learns to work with a team and becomes the hero that we all need. That is the story of the movie.
Okay, so what we do is they're going to do this new fuel thing that's going to fix the fuel so they can get off the planet. Buzz Lightyear flies around the sun, and then he doesn't make it, and so he has to eject the thing out of the side port so that he can go through these rings that slow him down, and he fails.
Yes, he fails.
But he's transported like 4 years in the future. And so basically we get a montage of the whole place building up in 4-year increments, and his friend getting older, she gets married to a woman and has a baby, then the baby grows up and the baby has a baby, and he keeps on doing it, he keeps on doing it.
Now, before pause, let's take a brief moment in time here, Dan, because he gets back the first time and he's super confused on what happened.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's time dilation. And he's like, hey, bro, what's time dilation? I'm just an astronaut who traveled at light speed to get here, but what's time dilation? What are you talking about? He knows what it is. It's his job. I understand that they have to explain it for the kids. I get that, but you can't make Buzz the one that doesn't understand what time dilation is when he's a fucking space ranger.
They also give him the cat, Socks, who's a robot who's there to sort of
thank
cheer
God
him
for
up.
that.
He has nightmares about...
Dan, I don't know if you read any reviews. A lot of the people out there think that Socks is the biggest issue with the movie because Socks fixes the time or the energy problem. And everyone's like, why couldn't the scientist do it? The fact that the robot did it, the science didn't, is a plot hole. And I just want to say to those people, you are idiots because that's incorrect.
Well, I mean,
that's all.
It's just a contrivance in the movie that there's no reason for it to be a contrivance in the movie, but it didn't bother me. I was just like, oh, they're making the cat solve it? That's kind of weird, but whatever.
Right. But the fact that an AI was able to solve a scientific problem better than humans, that doesn't bother me one bit.
Well, it's bothersome in that aren't they really just spending all their computer time trying to fix this, or maybe they're not because at a certain point they're not.
That's the thing is they don't care. When he gets back, they're basically like, yeah, we're good, we're done, and he's like, no, I'm going to keep going. So I don't think they're working on it at all. I think the only one that's actually working on it is the cat. So that's true. It makes perfect sense. Bunch of dum-dums.
He comes back one of the times, and I really thought there was going to be a coffin for the commander. I really thought there was going to be a coffin. I was like, whoa, that's going to be dark.
Well, it is Pixar. It's Pixar. They love to tug at those heartstrings.
So he comes back, and there's a new commander, Cal Burnside, and he's like, I'm canceling your mission because we're building a laser shield. That's kind of weird.
Super weird.
Socks solves the fuel problem, and then security comes to take Socks away from him. I hated that.
Yeah, they're decommissioning him for some reason.
Yeah, that's called fake stakes.
Yeah,
fake stakes.
I don't know. Make him kill a cat. I don't
know. He escapes with the cat. They make the magic fuel, and then the security guys pull the electric vibro knives to try and kill him.
Yeah, that is correct.
The instantaneous adversarialness of this guy that has spent his whole life ostensibly trying to help out the thing is just really weird.
Super weird. Yeah, sure is.
So then they go on so they do it the one last time, and this time they pull it off, and they land in a swamp.
Yeah.
Why did he land in a swamp?
Star Wars?
There it is. Star
Wars. That was my
Wars.
only suggestion. Yeah.
There's these evil robots patrolling. The evil robots steal his ships. Then he runs away and he meets Izzy, the grandchild of his friend, the commander. Yes. And what we find out is that the Zerg ship came 1 week ago and I think arrested everyone or something, or put everyone in prison or something.
I don't understand the Zerg at all. I'm just gonna say that
he's Zerg with his robots has taken over the whole planet.
Why?
I guess. Well, we're gonna do spoilers now.
Yeah, big spoilers ahead.
When we finally meet who Zerg is, who did you think Zerg was going to be?
I thought it was just gonna be like an evil alien, like he is.
Oh, you didn't
So
figure out that
I
it
don't
had
know.
to be something. You didn't figure out it was something we had to know.
No, and here's why, Dan, because there is 40 years of history with evil Emperor Zurg that I have been following. And instead, they're like, everything you thought you knew, totally wrong. Go fuck yourself.
I thought Zurg was going to be. I thought Zurg was going to be the trainee dude at the beginning.
Oh, Bill Hader, the rookie.
The rookie. Oh, that was Bill Hader?
Okay.
They put Bill Hader in that role.
Yeah, dude, that was Bill Hader.
Hard.
Yep. Isn't that terrible?
Why'd you have to tell me that?
I'm sorry, because I was so upset.
It's so easy to make me hate Pixar even more when you tell me things like that. Yeah, Bill Hader, we got this role for you. It's garbage, but we thought
you're
of
going to
you.
say a couple things, and then you're just going to disappear, and no one will ever talk about you again.
So what we're gonna learn is that Zurg is actually Buzz Lightyear, and at some point he became two people. This explanation for this didn't make any sense to me.
Well, so what they're saying is that he went into the future, then traveled back in time. So technically, the Buzz that he is hasn't done that trip yet. But this Buzz has gone on that trip and come back, and now he says he's broken time because they've fractured into a new timeline where the things that are happening didn't happen to that Buzz when he was in the past. Classic time travel nonsense.
When Buzz landed in the swamp, if Zurg hadn't come back in time, Buzz Lightyear would have left and become Zurg.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly right.
It's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. I've watched many time travel movies.
It's not even explained very well.
It's stupid. In addition to everything, it's stupid. So Buzz has come back.
Just bad storytelling. Sorry, continue.
So the bad guy in the movie is old Buzz. Okay, so that's what.
And he's not really
I don't know why I
bad.
felt like we had to talk about this now, but we did because this is when he splits.
Yeah, we do. Yes, this is where he split, and we're just talking about his motivations because he comes back and arrests the whole planet or something. But why?
Why? We'll get to that. Okay. Why?
Will we?
Because he. Yes, we'll talk about it. Yes, we'll talk about it. Okay, so.
Okay.
he meets Izzy and these two other characters. They need a pilot.
Yeah.
They're the junior patrol. The robots attacked. They're not trained. I wrote Izzy misses the throw, but they win anyways. But Zurg steals their ship. So Zurg steals the ship. So they're like, oh, ship is stolen. We got to do something else. This was the one part I liked is Socks. There's a fire on something, and Socks is the fire extinguisher, and he just like goes, and puts out the fire.
Again,
I was like,
Socks is the best part of this movie.
Best part of the movie. He's with the rookies, and they've gone into this building, and there's bugs everywhere, and so they all put on ranger suits, and then they're going to sneak out, but instead. One of the stupid what are we going to call it? What did I call them? I called them the rookies. One of them sets off an alarm, so the bugs start coming awake, and then Buzz Lightyear's like, go into stealth mode, and so they all go into stealth mode, and then he sneaks to the ship, and then they're sneaking out, and then stealth mode runs out after an amount of time that we don't know about, and he did not tell them about the amount of time that they had.
He didn't tell them about the time that. But also, Dan, the suit didn't tell them about it. Like, the suit would have a timer somewhere. I don't know if there's some sort of screen in their helmet that says it. Or
they showed it to us.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so somebody would be like, hey, what's this timer on here? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. We saw the countdown,
and we understood perfectly what was happening. And the countdown was like, it's green, red, off.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
It was like, It was like,
ridiculous.
We're going to give you 2 seconds, and none of them saw it and said, oh my God, what is this going to run out? Is this, and Buzz Lightyear would have said that to them. He would have said,
like, hey, you get 2 minutes of stealth. Why would you just be like, go into stealth mode and just leave? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense.
He's not an idiot. They're not idiot. No one in this movie is supposed to be an idiot.
Nor is he purposely trying to get them killed. So,
we did like a button bit, where like this button, that button, this button, that button, that button uses this button. I'm like, please don't waste our. That's the thing about this movie is it wastes its real estate, right?
Yeah.
The characters will just stand there and be like, let's talk about a thing you understand. Oh, I understand that. Yeah, you understand that. Do you understand that? Yeah, I understand that. You're just like, why are we spending time on this? Why are we doing a button bit? It's not funny.
It's not funny.
The person that's writing this is writing it for themselves because they're like, what can I put in here? I'll run the old button bit.
Old button bit. Yeah.
And you know what? That button bit, did that get us anywhere?
No.
Did it tell us about a character?
Not any of them.
No, it didn't do anything. So it's like, you know what happens to that? It goes like this. Big X. That's what
big old X.
The story editor is supposed to put a big X through that because this movie is what? It's an hour and 49 minutes. How long is Toy Story?
Great question.
Hour and 29 minutes.
Did you look that up? Or that's your guess?
I turned it on. I watched the first 15, 20 minutes of it.
Sure. Also, 1995. I was wrong. I said 97 earlier. I apologize, everybody.
This does not need to be an hour and 49 minutes.
It sure doesn't. Don't.
So the stealth mode thing runs out, and so what do they have to do? They all have to go in the ship. So that was our
which
big
doesn't
trick to get
actually
everybody
make
on the
any
ship.
sense. They had already gone 2/3 of the way. The closest exit would be out, not back the way that you just came. So stupid.
And I think, as he says, we could have made it if you'd have told us about that stealth mode wears off. You're like, wait a second. So your characterization of Buzz is that he doesn't give you information?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
This is where we learn that Izzy is afraid of space. She's astrophobic.
Yeah. Which makes perfect sense because she's wanted to be what are they called? Space Ranger her entire life, just like her grandma. Yeah. But she's afraid of space, but I would love to be a space ranger in space.
I'm afraid of balloons, but I want to be a clown.
Yeah.
No.
What?
Can't be.
What?
You gotta be a different kind of clown. Go ride horses.
Yeah.
Do something different.
Just come out of a car. Just be one of those clowns. Packs in a car, gets on out.
So she's afraid of space. Zorg attacks. He shoots them, and he lands on the dark side of the planet.
Yeah. It's pretty new stuff to me.
I don't know.
What's the problem? Well, it doesn't. This planet doesn't rotate.
Don't you kind of have to rotate if you're going to have stuff on the planet?
I don't think so, right? Because there's no gravity on this planet, right? Oh, wait.
I don't know enough about gravitational science and how things growing and living on a planet, but it sure doesn't seem like things are going to work if there's a dark side. And isn't like the dark side it seems like that's an old idea, right? I mean, I guess the moon is, but is there a dark side of the moon? No, there isn't a dark side of the moon because the moon still gets illuminated because it goes around.
Yeah,
right?
but doesn't the dark side of the moon, doesn't that rotate? Or is it always that?
Well, you got to think about it like this, right?
Yeah.
This thing's rotating around me. It's always oriented. This side here is always oriented towards me, right? We always see the same moon, and then it goes through different cycles. But there's this back part of the moon sees the sun at different times. It's not like us where we're in a constant 24-hour cycle where it's like on, off. But even we're not on, off. There are places on the planet here that have sunlight 24 hours a day parts of the year. And other parts of the year, they're black or they're dark all night long.
Yeah,
so
40 days of night.
Yes, so there's no such place that's always one way. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, I don't know. Somebody let us know if this is possible.
It's just like this weird line, and that's the thing. You don't want to put these lines in your movie because then people like us go, "Dark side? What are you talking about? We've never heard of this." This is very much I've never heard of this. Okay, so boom, they're crashed. Actually, then we have a little shadowing, foreshadowing, future shadowing. Buzz Lightyear says, "I need a time machine."
Yeah, but then he gets one and decides he doesn't need it anyhow. So there's that.
That's because he's grown.
Has he?
He's grown. Buzz is trying to figure things out, so he walks around the ship and yells at all of them because they're talking. Go somewhere far away from me.
There's someone over there not trying to think or something like that, which was a funny line, but...
So they go over to this other part. They activate the security. Buzz tries to join them, so they are heavy. Oh, okay. So they go inside this building, and they need to get like the magic part to fix the thing. And then they do something. Somebody does something stupid, and so they get trapped in these cones of frozenness. And then, but if the cones come together, they
merge,
they join to each other. And then Buzz has to be free in his so that he can do things, even though he's not doing anything is his. And then they tell Socks to fix it, and then Socks tries to fix it, and Socks says, "I can't reach it." And then you wonder, why don't they pick Socks up? They don't pick Socks up. So then they all have to merge because they need to bang on a thing to make the thing turn off to open the door. And so they bang and the door turns off and then the whole thing falls off, but they make the jump and everybody lives.
Yeah, makes perfect sense, Dan.
They're just... You can't make up a bunch of complications. I'm going to sit here. This time I'm going to write my story. I'm going to say, these are the 27 complications that happen, and then these are the 27 random weird things that they're going to then be able to do randomly so that the complication is fixed.
Go away. Yeah. That's a great story, Dan. Good job. I'm proud of you.
You know, like in that, let me say something positive about a Pixar movie.
Oh, please. Yeah, I want to hear it.
Up. I like that movie. Up.
Yeah, Up's a tough one.
He gets to the weird island, and then he meets like this weird bird, and then the dog can talk, and just like everything's weird in that movie. And then when it all sort of weaves together for a solution, you're like, you feel very satisfied.
Yeah.
This movie's like, let me make up a 27 things, and then let me fix them with these other 27 things that you've never heard of and don't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then you'll feel completed because they solved the problem.
And instead of that, you feel like you've been pulled into 30 different directions and you don't know which way is up.
You don't know. Okay, where are we at? I wrote Socks crashes. Oh, okay. So they go back to the thing. Yeah, Socks just crashed. And we find out that sandwiches now have the meat on the outside and then a single piece of bread on the inside, because if you had too much bread, it would be too dry and you wouldn't end up with sloppy hands.
No, that's not the word.
Messy hands.
Oh, where is it? I wrote it down. Juicy fingers.
Juicy fingers.
Yeah. He says juicy fingers, which is funny, but also like, what's happening? I don't get it. Because they're confused. They're like, how long did you have it? Bread, meat, bread. And he's like, forever. Why would that change? They're not aliens, Dan. They come from the human race who eat sandwiches a certain way. Why would it change?
Because this is 100 years in the future and everything has changed.
But why would that change? The only thing I could think of is if there was a bread shortage on the planet, and in order to make sandwiches, they had to go down to one slice per sandwich.
And it'd almost be like if you watch any actual media, you would see people eating normal sandwiches. You'd see people eating hot dogs and hamburgers and everything.
Yes.
The only people that have ever taken away the bread and replaced it with things is they haven't put bread in the middle then. All they've done
KFC
is,
was
KFC,
just meat filling meat. Yeah. The double down is pretty damn good, though.
Was it good?
I mean, if you like terrible food, yeah, it's really good.
And I understand what the bit is supposed to be. Right, you're so far in the future that they don't remember things in the past and things have changed and things have morphed. But it's like we're not very far in the future. We're like 60 years, right? Not even 100 years.
They said 66 years. Yeah,
66 years, and I think that our world has frozen in the year 1990 or so. Our world here, I think that the world froze. It came to this. CVS is going to looks a certain way. It has looked that same way for 30, 35 years.
Target did a facelift, though. One. And then,
it's
a little, because it went from like Target to Target Great Land, and now they have like a pharmacy section and they have groceries in some of them. So
they have different products in there, but
you're saying if I walk into a store, I'm like, oh, this is a Target. That's what you're saying to me. Okay.
If you walk, Back to the Future, when Marty McFly leaves and goes to the future, he goes to the past. No, he goes to the future too.
Well, different movies. He does both.
When you go to the future, it should be futuristic. If somebody went to in the future from 1990 to now, they'd be like, things have not changed that much.
Did I travel in future different. Or did I not? Is this tomorrow? I don't understand.
And that stagnation is a thing that I think is driven by a lot of corporate issues, but it is a stagnation of how our world is now, as opposed to, you look at between 1920 and 1955, how much did things change?
A bunch, probably. I don't really know.
A whole bunch.
When did we stop pulling carriages with horses?
Well,
it doesn't matter.
The automobile, I think, really took over in the 40s. I think it really took over in the 40s. So
because what I was thinking just
20s
now,
and 30s, you still had carriages. Yeah.
Because you bring up a great point with Back to the Future, right? When that was made in the 80s, 85 or whatever, and he goes to 20, what did he go to? 2024, 20, like we've been to Back to the Future Day. And it already came and passed. In that movie, they're like flying cars and all this futuristic stuff. If someone really did time travel and we were like, well, now you can plug cars in sometimes and they run off batteries. They'd be like, okay.
It's not impressive.
Right? Like it's okay. That's cool. I guess it just goes less. Like, why would I even want to do that? I don't know. It's interesting.
Most of our improvements are, better phones, better video, faster video, better phones.
Yeah, like things that don't really matter. I've never really thought about this before, and I'm just now thinking about it. Like, we're not making cool advancements.
No. And more importantly, in the visual landscape of our existence, very static.
Right.
Very, very static.
Yeah.
I know. It's a nightmare. Don't think about it. It's horrible.
It's too well. Now you put it in my head, Dan. Now I'm going to think about it the rest of the day, and I'm going to just be depressed all the time.
Yeah, it sucks. So the idea that sandwiches are going to become something completely different, which there's a reason why there's bread on the outside of the sandwich, is because you don't get sloppy fingers.
Right. Nobody wants juicy fingers. Like that's not a benefit of anything.
No.
Even I guess maybe for buffalo wings, because then you get a little extra sauce. I don't mind after a buffalo wing, but I wouldn't do it for that reason. Like, I'm not excited about it because then I can't touch anything, right? I can't be on my phone while I eat chicken wings, right? That's a mess. I can't do hate watching while I eat chicken wings. I always have to stop taking notes during that because I got juicy fingers. Nobody wants juicy fingers. That's all I'm saying.
Nobody wants juicy fingers. Okay, where are we at? Blah, 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 blah. Sandwiches have bread. Socks crashes and then has to reboot. And then Buzz can't do a pep talk, but then he gives him a pep talk anyway, and he does a whole thing of, I used to be a screw-up. Then Hawthorne saw something in me, and then I stopped being a screw-up. That's it. I'm not a screw-up anymore. What's going on, Tony?
Being a screw-up myself, Dan. I don't whine about it, which it always annoys me. Like, he's telling this stories like, I used to screw up all the time, big deal, dude. We screw up, we learn, and then we move on, right? Don't be a little whiny bee about it. I just don't like this characterization of Buzz. I just, top to bottom, I don't like it. I don't want it.
Don't want it. The Zorg bot is after them. They use teamwork to escape, but then Zorg just activates a bunch more bots.
Is this where they do the explanation of Zerg?
Where he's like, came there?
No, okay, so they haven't met yet, right?
No.
Okay, all right, I'll wait.
Okay, boom. So they're in the ship. They're trying to get away. They're being chased by the bots. They have to go into the fire geysers, and then someone accidentally ejects the crystals, and the bots steal the crystals. And then Izzy apologizes. I made a mistake. And then Buzz begins to cry again. The mission is over. End of the world. I need to be by myself. Yeah. And the Zorgbot steals Buzz. They come and they steal Buzz. And then he goes up there, and then disappointed when Zorg confronts Buzz, and you're like, something weird's going on. And then, of course, Zorg opens up, and you're like, he's like, Dad. And I'm like, oh, God, it's Buzz Lightyear's dad. And then you're like, no, it's old Buzz. And then you're like,
which one was worse?
Oh, old Buzz is 1,000 times worse than Buzz's dad.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because if his dad then yelled at him, and, it would have been really funny.
Sure.
If it was Buzz's dad who had to leave, Earth to come and save Buzz.
Sure.
That would be a movie.
Not this movie.
It's Buzz's dad. Izzy, I messed this up. And they're like, oh, they all mess stuff up. But then she's like, no, it's different because I messed it up. Because in my family, there's expectations, which is like a terrible thing to say in front of your friends. Like,
right,
like
in the
you
world
can
be a fuck up. Right,
everyone
exactly.
expects you guys to suck, but I'm part of a real family.
But me, I'm supposed to be
suck.
good. I'm supposed to not be a complete moron like you two. Yep. It's very weird. Very weird lesson to impart on children if this is who you're aiming for.
Poor children that have to see these movies.
The poor children.
So then Buzz dad / old Buzz explains it all is that the timeline shifted. In his timeline, he went forward and then made the thing work and then got all this technology. Now he's coming back, but he can only come back to right now, and then he's going to go back to before they crashed.
This is what confuses
stop him from making the mistake that forced the Onion to do the crash on this planet.
Well, it's a turnip, first of all. Okay.
What?
But I don't understand. So he went to the future, got a bunch of technology, came back to the past, but couldn't get all the way back because of the crystal.
No,
so he needs Buzz's crystal
because of a plot line. Because of the plot.
Well, I understand that. I'm trying to understand what they're telling me.
Because the writer, they don't say. They just say, "This is as far as I could get."
But then he wants Buzz's crystal, so it has to be because his crystal ran out of energy.
He says that. He does say that. It ran out of energy, but it ran out right here.
Right. It seems pretty convenient.
Yes.
But then, why would he take over the planet? Like,
so
what
that
is
he's in control of the whole planet so that he can then steal the crystal. Why doesn't he just meet Buzz right there at the minute he lands? Because he knows exactly where he lands and when he lands.
Yeah, and just be like,
just
hey,
have
Buzz.
waiting there and just take the crystal?
I've done what you're about to do. Here's a better idea. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. He's not evil. at all.
Or you shoot Buzz in the head. I don't know.
Or that, just be like, sorry, pal, but we more important things. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I hate it. I hate it so much. It's so stupid.
Time travel movies don't ever make sense. Spoilers.
I mean, I agree. Like you can overthink that a movie and it'll stop making sense. Like Back to the Future. Like you can take it apart. But while I'm watching it, I don't care because I'm having such a good time. And like it at least makes sense in the way that they decide to tell you. If you think about the real world scenario of it, you're like, okay, well, I don't think that really makes sense. But at least in the movie, it seems like it would make sense. You know what I mean?
Well, you said the exact thing, Tony, because you're having a good time. If you're having a good time in this movie, we'll forgive it. If it's interesting and surprising, but just the idea that Buzz, future old Buzz, is a gigantic piece of shit who doesn't want to listen and doesn't want to do anything, you're like, well, that's not really the Buzz we've seen in this movie.
Nope.
And then I don't know when he became
goes to the future and finds a bunch of cool technology. He travels further in time than any other human being ever, right? That's awesome. Well, that's not going to turn you evil. If anything, that's just going to make you like a cool superhero. You come back with Iron Man shit. I don't get it.
Just the whole idea of changing all of the past. It's just like all those conundrums you've always thought about, right? You know, like, oh, I'm going to go back in time and kill Hitler. And then the person says, well, then you kill all the people. You know, there's time travel doesn't work. The premise doesn't work you can't hinge a moral thing on that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's especially when you're dealing with the same character.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I don't know. It's dumb.
You know, it's almost. Well, it's almost like doing the whole the Spock conundrum with the same person. It's the same person's going to always come to the same conclusion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You and I are going to go through our lives, and good things are going to happen to us, and bad things are going to happen to us.
Mostly bad.
But I bet you, if you asked one of us at age 20 versus 40 versus 60 versus 80, we're all going to come to the same exact conclusion on the Spock conundrum. That is how a person is wired. And to say that that's not how a person is wired is what this movie's doing. And that's phenomenally stupid because it's not even about him being wired. It's like, I need to complete the mission. The mission is the only thing that matters. And you're like,
which is not right.
That's not even exactly the character that they presented to us.
Not at all.
Why did he go back and there you go. Why did he go back and save the rookie at the beginning?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're only about the mission, he's collateral damage.
You would have left him behind
because you don't care about it. But he cares about it. And then you have
a totally different movie of like, if they still don't make it and he let that guy die. I mean, now you're talking some real character work you got to do.
Got to do some character work. Okay, what were you going to say, Tony?
I don't remember. Oh, I was going to say, we were just talking about, you were like, there's no such thing as like a good time travel. But then I was going to have you read or seen 11/22/63 by Stephen King? It's brilliant. It's about time travel. It's wonderful.
No, what I'm saying is, if you're going to make a time travel movie, you better make it entertaining.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
If it's not entertaining and we're not, if we're not embedded with the characters,
I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the Time Machine one where H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper, Time After Time.
Yes, I loved that show. It's a show, isn't it? Or was it a movie?
It's a movie.
I thought it was a show, but anyhow.
David Warner and Malcolm McDowell.
Okay, time out, Dan. So it is a movie from 1979. But it's also a television show from 2017. Now, I saw the TV show, and I loved it. I didn't know it was based on a movie. That changes everything.
Yeah, so there's a movie. And you know, there you go. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, it is.
Let's see. What are we doing? Boom, 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 boom. So where were we? Let's stop this all from there. Oh, yeah. So he's just, I need the crystal. Let's work together. And then he's all like, okay, let's do this. You don't want to be on blah, 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 blah. Izzy's in the ship. Oh, they used a teleport to get up in the ship. That was nice. I liked that.
Sure.
Okay, so he has socks. Old man Buzz has socks. Socks hears Buzz change his tune, and Socks knocks out old Buzz. And what does he say? That'll only last for 10 minutes.
5 minutes. He says 5 minutes. Yeah. You love timers.
Talk to me, Tony.
What do you want to talk about?
Can he tie him up? Can he do anything of a million things so that 5 minutes is not 5 minutes?
Here's what I'll tell you from all the timeline movies that are time travel movies is if you interact with the same space as the thing that you're time traveling, it can end time. I'm pretty sure that's one of the rules.
Not in this stupid movie. That is literally in a movie of arbitrary bullshit things. That's is by far the worst. Yes. That is.
I get it.
That is just literally absurd.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to have 5 minutes, but that's all you get is 5 minutes. You're like, put him in a force.
The body. Put
him in a force field. Do something else. But it's a knockout. He's literally knocked out on the ground.
Because it's a very light knockout. So if you jostle the body, he's going to wake up. Okay. That's
okay. Buzz sets the bridge on self-destruct. Then Izzy is going to have to cross this open space to get to him.
She does a terrible job.
She does the jump. Don't miss. The ship moves, but she grabs it, and then she also grabs Socks.
Yeah.
Izzy then saves him, and they succeed.
Yay.
I'm going to ask you a question, Tony.
Yeah, ask away.
How do astronauts move in space?
They have little thrusters on their suit.
Are they wearing Space Ranger suits? Are they wearing Space Ranger suits?
Yes, they are.
Why the fuck would a Space Ranger suit not have those things? Hold on. That's my first one. Second one is she has Socks with her. What can Socks do that we have seen
literally
in
everything?
The movie?
He could do everything.
It can spit out stuff which will move her. We have seen that happen. The characters have seen that happen. But instead, she has to just reach around. She doesn't even use her brain. She just gets lucky reaching around.
Well, in her defense, these suits, Stan, are completely useless. They have absolutely no technology.
Stealth at a pen mode.
They have a stealth. Yeah, they have a stealth mode, which, by the way, isn't in Toy Story. So why is that even a thing? They have a pen right here, which is also not part of the toy, as far as I can remember. There's no pen in the toy.
So dumb.
They don't have the laser. They don't have the wings. I don't know. Ridiculous.
So they blow up the ship, and the ship is blowing up. I liked it when they were all sort of flying out there. There was ships flying out there, and they were in free fall, and it was shot really nice. It was like I could do with some of this and coming that. He gets in the ship, but the ship gets. Zurg's not dead, so Zurg comes and shoots his ship, and then he gets the crystal, and then Buzz shoots the crystal. And that's supposed to be an emotional moment when he shoots the crystal because that's the thing that means something, right?
Yeah, supposedly.
Did it mean anything to you when he shot the crystal?
No, because I was pretty sure he had already chosen not to go back in time because he had the opportunity to go back in time, and he said no. So why do you – what's –
he needs the crystal to reconnect with Earth.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's him choosing to stay at that planet.
And why can't they just make another one of these crystals? Why can't?
Well, with all of the things that they seem possible of, like a laser defense system, they don't have the technology to make this crystal.
You have to get super lucky at the right time. Something. They do put a line in there, but it's a garbage line.
Garbage.
Izzy's ship is crashing. Buzz gets in the front and tries to do that, and then she's like, "No,
he
get on the
stole
bottom."
wings now from the ship.
Oh, is that what happened? Is that
so? This is where the idea for the wings comes, because he stole wings and put them on, and now he's flying a little bit. So then at the end, when they have their new suits, they have wings on them, but too little, too late, guys.
They survive. Izzy's like, "I was in space." And then the evil commander comes up, and then he's not the evil commander anymore. He's just the commander.
Now, why? Because in what they're telling me is that he was trying to kill Buzz, and that's why future Buzz left and went to the future.
Yep.
So then what's changed? Because for him, it's only been a week, right?
Yep.
So what's changed? I don't know.
Yep. Then they're like, "We're putting you in charge of the Space Rangers. Who do you want to pick of all these guys that you've never met and know nothing about?" He's like, "Instead, I'm picking my old team." And they're like, "We're the old team and we're ready to go."
And now, while it's a cute moment, but also the military would be like, no, you need trained soldiers to do this. You're a cop now, essentially. You need people that can actually do the job.
I need my best friends to be on the police force with
it's
me.
Okay, but they're going to die, Buzz. They're going to get murdered. You want that on your head? And he does.
The one guy's a coward and has a pen. That'll work out great.
He's going to be fine. So dumb.
And then they have a new mission to do something. I don't pay any attention.
The only other thing I want to say, Dan.
What's the only thing you want to say, Tony?
My big takeaway from this movie is, again, this is a prequel to the movie that Andy from Toy Story saw. None of it makes any sense with what happens in Toy Story with the toy. They don't get their suits till the very end, and he never even uses it.
Correct.
Like, they're off to become the toy that Buzz is already in that. It doesn't make any sense. Except
by personality and way that he sounds and how he acts and what he does.
Right. Yeah.
Only those things. Except those things.
Only those little tiny details. You can overlook those.
Well, the good news is they probably won't make any more of these, and I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm also down with that. And the good news is there's a 80% chance that you people out there have only seen a 30-minute show, and that's a real treat for you.
You're very lucky. They're making they're making Uncharted 2.
Wait, is that a real thing? Is that happening? You're shitting me.
I'm shit you not, Tony. Shit you not. I
love Hollywood.
Unless last week was April 1st.
Nope, it sure wasn't. We're a ways away. Although, Dan, I got to tell you this. I missed one of my work flights a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I was at the airport 80 minutes before my flight, and I still missed it because they were so busy, and then they blame me. Anyhow, and I'm arguing with this lady at the thing, and she has the gall to look at me, and she goes, "Well, it's spring break. You should have been here 2 hours before your flight." And I said, "Lady, it's June. June is not spring. Don't tell me it's spring break. It is fucking summer." And then she threatened to call security on me.
Did you yell at the lady?
I yelled at the lady. I was very cordial up until she said it's spring break, and I snapped. I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about, spring break?" So I got mad. But
was it spring break? Were the kids there?
It was June. It was June 7th. That's not spring break.
Oh, that lady talking about you to her husband. This fucking guy.
They're probably still talking about me. I don't give a shit. Spring break.
Tony.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about something you liked this week.
We saw Hitman. The Glenn Powell Netflix. I loved it. It is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be funnier and more of like an action comedy. It's not really. It's like a dramedy, but it's well made. And he is, he's so good, dude. Glenn Powell is like he's my new it guy of Hollywood. I'm obsessed with him. I went back and watched Top Gun again. I went back and watched Anyone But You again. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch the other Linklater film he did. Was it Get Some or I don't know, whatever that is. So I'm on a Glenn Powell kick now because he's so good in this movie.
Powelling it up.
Powell. It's Powell time.
Powelling around.
Yeah. Powelling around. That's good. Oh, shit. I like that.
I've been listening to like these science fiction and horror podcasts, and the horror ones are just beyond horrible.
Well, which ones?
I don't know. If you have a good one, send it to me.
I mean, the Freddie Prinze Jr. one's pretty good. I don't know if they're still making it. You tell your story, and I'll look it up.
No, I mean, is he telling a story, or is he just talking about horror movies?
Oh, they're just talking about horror movies. You mean like the narrative podcast?
Yes, narrative podcast.
Got it. Okay, I'm sorry.
But I found one that's good. It's called Wrong Station, and they're kind of Twilight Zone-y kind of ones, and they're consistently very good.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The
seventh thing, I listened to this theme park. These guys that design theme parks, and they were talking, and they had a couple women on that go to the LA County Fair, and they were talking about. Have you ever been to the fair where they do the table settings?
No, what do you mean? What table settings?
So
like speed table settings?
No, when you go to the fair, there's like you go see the collections, and then there's like the food competes, and then the craft competitions. Have you ever seen any of that stuff?
No. The Minnesota State Fair is way cooler than all of that. But we do a butter princess competition. The best butter sculpture. Yeah, that one's good.
But if you walk into all the buildings, there's all the community does stuff. There's like a community art show. My mom puts in her Afghans that she makes. But they have this one thing where you do a table setting. You set up a table and you do like a theme. Have you ever seen that? Are you awake? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, you froze for a second, but I've never seen any of this.
Oh, so you set up table settings, but the new one is called doorscaping. And what you do? Doorscaping. You decorate a door, and then people display their doors.
Why? Okay, great. I would just put a wreath on it. Would that win, you think?
Nope, because it wouldn't be creative enough.
All right. What is an example? Did they give an example of like what a good doorscape would be?
Oh, the one they gave the example of is the one person did a Twilight Zone one. And at the beginning of the Twilight Zone, there's the door, and
the door, thing. Yeah, sure.
They did all the other things, the eyeball and the little floating mannequin. And then I guess they were all out and everything was painted in black and white. And I'm sure it said the Twilight Zone on there in big white letters.
Okay.
Doorscaping. And let's see AI do that.
Yeah, AI. I mean, all right. I'll have to look it up. I got to see some doorscapes really good because right now it sounds stupid.
I think it sounds incredibly stupid, but I love it. A new art form exists in the world. That's incredible.
It's incredible.
Tony, we need a movie for next week. Preferably not another stupid kids movie.
Well, it's not a kids movie, but it is a prequel movie, which I don't know if we really do that very often. But I have been watching. So I watched Anyone But You, like I told you, which is directed by a gentleman named Will Gluck, who is a guy that also directed Fired Up. And starring in Fired Up is Eric Christian Olsen. This is the path that I went through this week. And Eric Christian Olsen did a prequel to a very famous 90s movie. And I was like, you know what? I saw this in 2003 in the theaters. And I remembered thinking, man, Eric Christian Olsen is unbelievable, but this movie is straight trash. So I think we should revisit this. And it is called Dumb and Dumberer When Harry Met Lloyd.
Oh, you cut out and I can't hear anything you're saying.
Wait, you didn't hear what I said?
No, I have no idea what movie we're doing.
All right, see you next week, everybody.
It's going to be rough on me this week. I need to remember what this Hans Christian Andersen character who was in Step It Up.
Christian Olsen. Come on. No, we are doing.
To look at his entire filmography and
his IMDb and just go through it.
What prequel of a '90s movie was he this character in? What's the movie?
It is, of course, Dumb and Dumberer When Harry Met Lloyd.
Now, is there just one, or did they make two?
I think they just made one of those.
Oh, okay. Because I knew they made a prequel, but I didn't know if they made two of them. So they just made one of them. Okay, so I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, I think they just made one, and then two of the because then they did a sequel then of the real one.
There's Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumber 2, and then this is a prequel, which is Dumb and Dumberer.
When Harry Met Lloyd, yes.
Oh, okay, wow. I can't, and it's terrible, so that's good. We're good. It's a comedy.
Yeah, I remember it being quite bad. But again, it was high school, I think. I think that was like the summer 2003 or something like that. So it's been a minute.
As we've seen from the Buzz Lightyear movie, is you could have changed since then, and you might now love this movie, or you could. The truth of the matter is, you're going to hate it even more, which is exactly what this show posits: is that
probably
we don't really change very much.
You're darn right, we don't. But I'm pumped. Because I remember him being really good.
Oh, okay. Well, it'll be interesting. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up or leave a comment or subscribe. We're always up for that. And if you made it this far, well, thank you. Thank you for giving us the time of day. Maybe you didn't have to make it that far. Maybe because we just have half a show.
Yeah, and still half a show getting through it. That's still quite a bit of work for you people. So thank you.
And so if it's only half a show, imagine what the first half of the show is. What comedy
even
gems
better.
We were dropping.
We came out swinging today.
And with that, we'll sign off and say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch it!